My name is Tosh, Mahlakazela. I'm basically from the Free State. My position or responsibility in South African Jazz Appreciators Association, I'm the deputy chair. My origin with jazz was from a jazz club in Free State called First Letter Jazz Foundation. We originated there in the year 2000. So our activity and our growth throughout ended up being representative of the Free State, and eventually in 2013 we ended up launching the South African Jazz Appreciators Association in Durban, eKwaMhlanga. The reason why we exist as an association, basically jazz was dying a natural death in South Africa, starting from the early years of the 70s and 80s, when the introduction of Mbaqanga, Kwaito, blah, 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 and all of those music. And the media, the broadcasting, the media in general, were also not playing a role in promotion of jazz. We then realized that jazz is a very important genre of music that must be defended. It's historical. It teaches us about our own history. And we realized that if we're not going to stand up and do something about it, jazz is going to literally die a natural death. For an example, in many of the radios, regional radios, newspapers, TV stations, and all of those, there's very little mention or play of jazz music in those stations. At times when they play jazz around very awkward hours when people are asleep and so on and so on. But they have a serious contribution and play of gospel music, kwaito, house, and other music that are played throughout the day, every day, for the whole of the week. And they'll only identify one day in a week where jazz will be played. So we realized that much has to be done in defending and promoting jazz. We organize ourselves, encourage communities to establish themselves into clubs, into federations, until we establish an association. Now, Appreciators Association, it's an organization which necessarily is not, we're not promoters, we're not musicians. We want to defend and uphold the jazz. We want to defend, jazz as a music, as a genre that must be promoted. We want to do coordination in between all the stakeholders that has a stake in the contribution of jazz. So our role basically is a coordination and a promotion of jazz. We're not necessarily promoters in any way. Our existence has to do basically with defending, promoting, and broadening jazz in general. We've got two programs basically. We're encouraging that the clubs, they must open up their membership for young people to join. Make it easier for them to be able to access jazz clubs. Also create opportunities where jazz music will be available to everybody. But secondly, there's a program that we're going to embark on of ensuring that in the schools, not only music get introduced, but jazz music get introduced in schools. If you can realize in all of our events, in the Free State, Durban, in Bokoto, here in Cape, we are actually making sure that in all the groupings that play, you've got one or two that are young people, either from schools. And a very practical example, you can see even today, we've got two clubs that has very little people playing music. And we think that could encourage others as well to see if these young people are playing jazz music. They will also get attracted to that. So these are the programs that we're running. Get music, jazz music introduced in schools so that people must begin to understand and learn jazz music as early as primary school and so on. When we were launching our annual general meeting in Bloemfontein, we had two groups from schools that were playing for us there. No senior groups, two groups that were playing from schools. And that was very nice. You can also see even today. We are now bringing in the younger people to contribute drastically to ensuring that it gives out a message to those that are outside to say, jazz is not necessarily music for the elderly, as it was, precluded by others in the past. Young people must begin to enjoy jazz. It's a nice music. Thank you.